following is a presentation of the Pontywood Sports Network.
Boom, chick, boom, chick, boom, chick, boom, chick, boom.
We can move it underground, bro. We can toss it all around, Joe.
Convert another first down and goal.
We're gonna take it all the way.
Boom, chick, boom, chick, boom, chick.
We can start turning up the sound, yo. Another Tuesday round, slow. Are you ready for the Nick Brown Show?
Ready for the Nick Brown Show.
I'm ready for the Nick Brown Show.
Can you dig it?
Boom, chick, boom, chick, boom, chick.
So many things get started at Pizzeria. You start your party off with a pizza from the pizzeria. You get your celebration started. You get your season started. For a lot of us, our passion with pizza started at the pizzeria, a tradition since 1960s. It's the pizzeria just off the square in Center. So what do you get with Sabine State Bank? Steve Waters and his staff, they know you. They know you by name. And they celebrate the successes when they finance your dreams. But Sabine State Bank is also a fully modern bank with 24-hour online access to your accounts and services ranging from teller services to some of banking's more complicated things. Looking for a place to grow? It's Sabine State Bank.
Welcome, everybody, to the third installment of the Coach Nick Brown Show, live here from the pizzeria. Of course, we got me, the counselor, Stephen Shires, along with the man of the hour, the guy in charge, Coach Nick Brown. And then to his left, to your right on the screen, is a guy, we don't know who he is. He just showed up for some pizza, so we decided to invite him on. So, Mr. Chris Wallington, welcome to your first Coach Brown Show of the season.
I didn't do any of the scrimmage games. I was waiting for the real thing. And I'm excited to be here.
Well, very good.
I really am, because I like your pizza better. Meatloaf is just the way to go.
I mean, now that I got, when Larry hooked me up with the jalapeno edition, that's taking it to the next level.
Yeah, I
so
agree.
We're good.
So I'm glad to be here for Nick Brown's show, and it's an important one because the season kickoff is Friday night. We'll hold talking about Jacksonville and about week one to the end of the program, but that makes everything else more important leading up to it. Lead off with what you learned and what you saw.
Well, no. We're leading off. We're welcoming everybody and the pizza of the night. We have the normal. We have the normal pizza, which is the meat lovers with the jalapeno. That he
new guy.
Jumped up right. I know. Jumped off. But our pizza of the night is not really pizza.
What's the pizza of the night if it's not pizza?
It's the work sticks.
Tell me about work sticks, because
well,
that's something. If you call them 717 and say work sticks, they're going to know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but it's not on the menu.
Right. So go ahead.
But it's cheese sticks.
Inside
right.
info.
It's breadsticks, not only with cheese, but with the works on top of it.
So it's breadsticks as if you were eating a works pizza.
Yeah.
Work sticks.
Work sticks.
I like it.
Highly recommended. Chef's kiss.
It's good. It's good stuff for sure.
All right. So there we go. That's our first segment where we talk about the pizza of the night.
Let's practice for a second. I'm going to call UB Pizzeria, okay?
Okay.
Do it to 7117.
Hello, this is the pizzeria.
Hey,
what can I help you with?
Hey, I want something I heard on that Nick Brown show called work sticks.
Well, how many do you want and what size?
A large work sticks.
Just one?
One for every member of my family.
So that's 10.
Yes.
All right.
How you guys? How you doing?
There you go. And a Dr. Pepper.
It's that easy.
Right.
Yeah, it's that easy.
That's how you do it.
All right. Okay. Well, let's get to the Kilgore scrimmage.
Okay.
We did a little thing. I'm sorry, I wasn't able to make it. I was struck with that thing that used to be scary. Now it's just a nuisance. The COVID virus.
The COVID news.
So it's just a cold now. It's the same thing. Yeah.
That's a really bad.
But I didn't want to give it to Wallington and Pierce and everybody else.
Well, sure.
So I was in.
I don't want to take that home to my 4 kids either.
No.
That's right. That's right. So no scrimmage for us. So you got to tell not just the viewership, but us as well. What did you see?
So first of all, Kilgore's real good.
Yeah.
And they're coming off a bid for a state title. Played I think they lost to Salina in the state title game, and they've got most of those guys back. And so what we learned first and foremost is Kilgore is still real good.
Yeah.
And I know that's not a shock to anybody, but you know, I told our guys, you know, after that scrimmage and leading up to that, you can see it on film. But their front 7 guys in that 3-4, that defensive line, their nose guard's one of the best nose guards I've ever seen. I mean, he's the real deal. And, you know, we did some good things. We moved the ball on him, got a touchdown called back. I don't think it was right, but it was a scrimmage, so I'm not going to lose my stuff on a referee at a scrimmage. But
misplaced your stuff, but not lose it.
I did. I misplaced it a little bit, but we did some good things, you know. And also, like I told our guys, like we're learning new offense, new defense. You know, you got to have a new coaching staff, and so there's a lot of things that are different from what they're used to doing. And so, but you know, Kilgore is always a good opponent because you know they're always going to be good. They're always going to be well coached. You know, they do a great job over there. But yeah, definitely, we got a chance to go up against probably the best defense that we'll see outside of Carthage all year long, for sure. Yeah.
That's high praise.
Yes.
Early in the season, but
I don't say that lightly. Like,
right.
They are that good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, give me one thing specifically, you know, a moment that was either instructional because of how well Kilgore played against us and it shows something, you know, that we need to, or something that you were surprised and pleased with.
Well, I was really pleased with the way that the biggest thing is when you're in a situation like that, when you know it's a scrimmage, the kids know it's a scrimmage. We tell them all week, like, hey, we're not. The biggest thing with scrimmages is your goal is, yes, you want to get better. Yes, you want to work on your stuff. Yes, you want to see your kids compete. But the biggest thing in your 2 scrimmages is you want to get out of those 2 scrimmages into week 1 with no injuries.
Right.
And save, you know, one of our guys has a knee thing, be back in a couple of weeks. But other than that, we're healthy, you know, knock on wood.
Yeah.
And so that's the biggest thing coming out of a scrimmage is you want to be healthy. And we were able to do that. And, you know, going into a scrimmage against someone like Kilgore, it's easy to get very frustrated because you practice all week. And we have a very good scout team. Like, we don't, you know, our scout team is not just, you know, 11 random guys. We specifically personnel our scout team with the best available guys we have. So we have defensive starters like Cody Atkinson plays scout team linebacker.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? So we can get a good look.
And, hey, Coach, thanks for asking me to be on the scout team.
Yeah.
It's been a real
Well, I know you're busy
challenge.
with your Panola stuff,
It's been
so
a
I
real-
don't want to bug you.
It's been a
I
real
didn't want
challenge,
to bug
though.
you. Yes, sir. And so, you know, but seeing our kids, you know, keep fighting, keep playing, not give up, not get down. We didn't have any stupid penalties. We didn't have, you know, none of our kids, you know, they were frustrated, obviously. But, you know, like I said, I told them after the game, like, guys, that's the best football team you'll see outside of October 10th. That's hands down the best defense we'll see, and we moved the ball. We had some big explosive plays. You know, had touchdown, drove the ball right down, and kicked a field goal and scored, got away with points. And so those are the things that were the bright spots.
So do you feel like the Kilgore coaches afterwards said, you know, that team hit you in the face a couple of times? And
yeah, I mean, he and I talked after the game, and he was, you know, he was very complimentary of our guys. You know, the biggest thing was, you know, their body language, their effort, and their, you know, just kind of get after it was there. And you know, he had some high praise for some of our guys that played very well. I think defensively we gave him a lot of fits. You know, I told you guys our defense is crazy.
Yeah.
Right. I wish I'd have got clips this week. That's my fault. I forgot to put the clips in the folder. But it was about 4th and 1 down deep in their territory, and I think they were driving in on their 20. It was 4th and 1, and we have a play call where our entire defensive line and linebackers are 5 yards off the ball in a straight line, standing up in 2-point stances, and when the quarterback goes to clap, they're taking off in all different gaps. And you could just see the Kilgore quarterback kind of, what in the heck are these guys doing? And then it was an incomplete pass. We got the ball back. And so we did a lot of things very well. Obviously, with the second scrimmage, you know, you're working a lot more of your guys in. You're trying to get your some more reps, but you're also working those backups.
Right.
And so we were able to see a lot of guys compete and a lot of guys get reps. Got a lot of good film, a lot of good teaching film. And so that was a big bonus coming out of the second scrimmage.
And so you come out of that scrimmage, and now it's a week of practice that you're only 2 days into it.
Yep.
But isn't it true that by Tuesday night, a predominance of what you're going to work on in the week has happened?
Yeah, for sure. And so the way we structure our practice, you know, offensively is, you know, Monday we have, you know, is kind of we work our zone scheme in the run game. We work our you know, pick two passes, and we work very specific things Monday. Tuesday we work our gap scheme and some other things. Wednesday is kind of our situations day. So yeah, by Tuesday, you know, we've worked on the new stuff that we want to put in. We've worked on the things that we got to get better at, so that Wednesday we can work on our, you know, third down situations, end of game situations, 2-minute drills, you know, all those different kinds of things. Working on our nasty package, our under center stuff, and so by Tuesday, like we've gotten everything in this week after today that we're going to take into our game on Friday, and then tomorrow is just about fine tuning that and walk through Thursday, and then it's go time.
As you drive home after a practice, you feel that was good, that was not so good. I mean, does that happen? Do you kind of grade practices?
Yeah,
afterwards?
see, I'm not that guy that, I never try and get too down. I never try and get too up, because it's. I think I said it a couple weeks ago, like on film and even in practice, it's never as good as you think it is, and it's never as bad as you think it is. Right. And so, like yesterday, I told the kids, I think yesterday was probably our best practice we'd had all year. It was crisp, it was clean, the energy was there.
Good.
Today was another really good day of practice, and so that's our big kind of our unofficial motto is we got to keep stacking days. So we have a good Monday. Tuesday's got to be better. Wednesday's got to be the best day of the week. And then Thursday, Hayes in the barn, so to speak. We're just going through the walkthrough and getting things in, fine-tuning for pregame, and then we're going. So, yeah. But I do definitely also I'll drive home a couple times, and it'll be like, oh, my gosh, what did I do with my life? Like I could have been a lawyer. Like, I could have done something else.
Yeah.
Well, so I've got a question. So on Thursday, we've seen it now at the professional level. We've seen a couple times where guys don't know what to do on the block punt scenario or block kick. Do y'all have a session where you sit down where you go through? We did that on Thursday.
Yeah. So for us that's Wednesday. So like we'll work our normal punt, and then we'll work our tight punt. Like if we're pinned down deep, we work taking a safety if the game calls for that.
Right.
We work all the different things. We work bad snap on a field goal. We work our fire calls where guys go out for passes. So that's our Wednesday situations day. So anything that could happen in the game, Wednesday and Thursday, especially during our walkthroughs, are those days to work that. Right. Yeah,
because that's kind of like happened twice in the NFL where a guy has where a punt has been blocked and it's gone beyond the line of scrimmage and everybody's
clear,
get away, except that one guy that's running for it.
Yeah. It's the same thing like with the new kickoff rules. You can fair catch it even outside of your end zone. Yeah. And so we're teaching our return guys, hey, if it's deep and you don't feel like you get a return and it's like on the 5-yard line, fair catch that thing, we'll get the ball on the 30. Yeah. So those are different things that we teach on Wednesdays and Thursdays to make sure no matter what happens in the course of the game, we're prepared for it.
Yeah, excellent.
And also we teach our guys because I had this happen to me, so this is why I put it into our script for Wednesdays. We had a situation where we punted the ball away, and then all of our guys are just standing around it, waiting for enough clock and a lot of time around the clock, and they're standing there at the ball. Well, the dang returner runs in and snatches that thing up and takes it back for a touchdown. I was like, no, when you get around the ball, you grab that sucker and pick it up. Don't just touch it. You got to pick it up. So those are all the little things that we work that seem small and unimportant until it loses you a football game.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, all right. Well, we would also like to welcome everybody that's listening on 95.1, the Burning Bush. We are simulcasting there on that station. I appreciate that. We know we got Mr. Joe helping out with the Piney Woods, and of course we got our cameraman who's involved in that radio station, so it's very nice.
Justin Mott and Joe Elmer, both part of our broadcast team, and they spend all their working days at the Burning Bush. And this is the way it ought to be. Simulcast it. Get that. If you're driving around, you don't miss this. You listen to it in your car. So thank you very much.
Don't watch it.
Don't do that and drive.
But please don't. And also our coach talk all season long, brought to you by JBA Financial. Just down the road from here, it's John Black and Associates. All of your insurance and your investing situations, all that information right there, right next door to Brookshire Brothers and Center. We'll hear from some sponsors, including JBA, and we'll be right back with more of the Nick Brown Show.
So many things get started at Pizzeria. You start your party off with a pizza from the pizzeria. You get your celebration started. You get your season started. For a lot of us, our passion with pizza started at the pizzeria, a tradition since 1960s. It's the Pizzeria just off the square in Center. JBA Financial Services brings you Coach Talk, and there's a reason for that. John Black knows that when you're preparing for an important game, you need a plan, and they'd like to be a part of the details, the X's and O's of that plan. He's put together a good team, a coaching staff that would help you and your family get where they want to go. At JBA Financial Services, they're working to secure your family's future.
The team at McAdams Propane is committed to fueling generations of East Texans, and the work Billy Bob and Lisa McAdams started is growing under Josh's leadership. What began in Center has grown into Livingston and Marshall, Henderson and Carthage. For propane, it's McAdams.
Everybody, welcome back. It's the Coach Nick Brown Show here live from the pizzeria, brought to you by Sabine State Bank.
I forgot my paper.
Oh, yeah? Well, it's okay. We'll just have to wing it.
Okay, well, that's what I do best anyway.
That's right. I'd like to thank The Forge, who is a Rough Rider mention sponsor, along with Rough Rider Oil and Lube. I mean, that's obviously you want to keep your car in good shape. You can do that by keeping the oil change and all those,
go see them this
fluids.
week.
Yeah.
That's where I go.
And, of course, Mooney's Emporium. Now, we're going to talk about it Friday night. I'm going to debut my debut. I bought me a special shirt. It's a Fred Sanford. It says Big Dummy on it. So that's what I tend to wear. In Jacksonville, I got that's a Shell Mooney special. Also, you go in there, you got some stuff. You got a crock pot. Coach, I know y'all sometimes a little busy, but you just take the chicken and throw it in there. Something's called Thunder Chicken. You take the chicken, you put it in the crock pot. You put in some cream cheese. You put in some water, and you put in this mix, and turn it on, and it is magic.
Really?
It is some good stuff.
I'm going to have to go try
Thunder Chicken.
I'm going to try it now. I'm going to go try it now.
All right, we'll move on to our next segment, which we're going to be Rider of the Night. And Coach, we have a whole bunch of riders here tonight.
Yeah.
Came out for some pizza and for the show. So who's the Rider of the Night tonight?
Well, I think for tonight it's got to be our senior center, Jamie Jenkins.
Oh, yeah.
So he's sitting right there, actually.
I see him.
And so he had the toughest job of the night against Kilgore.
Yep.
And like I talked earlier about that nose, he was the real deal. And Jamie is one of the best offensive linemen I've ever been around.
Right.
And he does everything he asked him to do. He's a 3-year starter. And he worked his tail off. He never came over and complained. And a couple times he got beat, but then he won a couple of the reps.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was a great back and forth between two really good linemen, which is something as an old O-line go I always love to see when those guys are getting after it. But he shows up every day. He's every day for weights. He's there every day for meetings, and he's one of those guys, and he's bought into what we're doing, and he's doing an incredible job. So yeah, Jamie's our definite Rough Rider of the night.
And he told me ago when I saw him, he's ready for pancakes.
Yes, he is definitely ready for the pancake breakfast. Absolutely.
Well, he will definitely be the winner of some of those. I know we've gotten to know Jamie over the years. I mean, I know his family. I know his dad. I know his grandpa. I know all great folks. And so he's a great young man, just a prime example of some of the kids that come through Center High School.
And I'll tell you, they were voted best breakfast on the best of is Diamond B, where we have the breakfast with the guys. And we're going to be there at 8:30. We don't do anything live. We just kind of have breakfast with the guys and just chat. We do ask them some questions, we record some stuff that we play back later. So come on down, have a great breakfast, and hang out with the guys. And we have a blast down there.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun.
We have a lot of time. The guys just have a good time.
Yeah, that's Diamond B, which brings us our pancake breaks. But again, I mean, Jamie's just really good. I mean, and that's tough. I mean, you get a big. I'm assuming the guy was not only big but quick.
He's big, quick, fast, strong. He's everything you want.
Right.
You name a good thing about a defensive lineman. That was it.
Was that just his position? Was defensive nose? He didn't have any other.
He was the nose guard.
He was the nose guard.
He controlled both A gaps for sure. He was the real deal.
That's good.
That's right. That's always tough. I mean, it's always tough to deal with those guys, especially if they're stunting play
quick
side.
And athletic, they can get in there in that A gap quick. It's hard to knock them down when you're a center, man. I know it.
Well, when you run an odd front like Kilgore does, if you can have 3 really good defensive linemen where you don't have to bring your linebackers a lot, you can let them play. Right. It makes it really hard on an offense. And Kilgore, all 3 of those guys, they did a lot of really good things with only bringing 3 because they were all 2-gap players and could all play. Very good, very good.
Well, I know I've been around these guys the last couple of years, and every time we talk about Kilgore and the teams out there, man, you always hear about their linebacker, that front 7 on that defensive side of Kilgore. You always hear about those guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
All I know is as many times we hear about that, we also see that running back go right through our running back go right through the middle, right behind, right off Jamie's rear end, baby.
Right.
And that's what you like to see.
That's good. That's good.
All right, that's our Rough Rider player tonight, Mr. Jamie Jenkins. We're glad to have him out there for. I mean, again, he's been there for a long time and has anchored that line. And so, again, playing the most important position in all of football. It is not quarterback, sir. It is center.
Yeah,
that's right.
All right, so let's take a quick break. And when we come back, we will have our fall sports and our Piney Woods update coming up next.
I guess I get some paperwork here.
You get you some paperwork, yeah. Here's Sabine State Bank, which brings us the Coach Nick Brown Show.
So what do you get with Sabine State Bank? Steve Waters and his staff, they know you. They know you by name. And they celebrate the successes when they finance your dreams. But Sabine State Bank is also a fully modern bank with 24-hour online access to your accounts and services ranging from teller services to some of banking's more complicated things. Looking for a place to grow? It's Sabine State Bank.
You're watching the Coach Nick Brown Show, live from the pizzeria. The coach is in the house.
All right, everybody, welcome back. It's the Coach Nick Brown Show here live from the pizzeria, brought to you by Sabine State Bank. Now let's go ahead and, Coach, and turn to our fall sports update. How is everything going? What happened last week?
So big one was tennis moved to 6-3 on the season, and they're I think I talked about it before, but Coach Dykes, I mean, again, anytime you got your facility named after you and you're still there working, it's a pretty big deal. So he's got that thing rolling. They're doing really well. Volleyball's been competing very well. They had their game canceled Friday, so they'll pick up action. They're actually in action tonight. Junior high volleyball kicked off and did a really good job. Coach Hall and I talked about that today, and super happy with what's going on there. And then cross country, they got a meet coming up this weekend, and so took a week off and got a meet this weekend. So we got a lot going on.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, I'm looking forward. I still need to get over there and meet the center volleyball coach.
Yeah.
But Coach said they practice at like 7, so I need to make sure I round myself up.
Yeah, they do it in the mornings. That way we can get it rolling.
That's right.
Yep. We're live right now, right?
Right
we're not
now.
on a break or nothing like that.
Chris Wallen coming over, the director of the show.
Yeah.
Coming over. He thinks he
Appreciate
shows
you,
up.
man.
He thinks he can run it.
We thought we was on a break or something. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, anyway, just want to go back again and highlight again. We're here live at the pizzeria. Our pizza tonight is no pizza. It's actually the work sticks. This is delicious, absolutely delicious.
Yeah,
It really was.
Yeah.
It blew me because I have never seen it before. And it was, I like that.
But again, the meat
lovers
lovers
with
with the
jalapenos.
jalapenos, just a little extra kick.
Perfect.
All right.
I had some lasagna too. It was good.
Yeah. All right. Well, Mr. Pierce, let's talk about Pineywood's update. I know you're about to really get things kicked off and going.
Yeah, actually, we started with got things going last night with our first Dragon Talk. We're going to be going to some different places and doing our coaches shows with different coaches. Next week we'll be at Bites and Brew in Joaquin as we get ready for Joaquin and Beckville next week. But yeah, we're getting ready for some volleyball. It'll kick off on the 2nd. Our first matchup will be every Tuesday. We'll start with Gary and Shelbyville. Then we have San Augustine. They changed it around to San Augustine at center, and then center goes to Timpson. So those two back-to-back, you'll see some Lady Rough Riders right there. Also, whenever Hudson comes to town, that's a good district game. We'll have that one for the Lady Volleyballers as well. So all that coming up here, and that's every Tuesday night, so we'll be ready for that. Football kicks off on Thursday here for us. We'll be in Beckville. I got to go over there today, check out the new Coliseum, which is awesome, by the way. And Beckville and St. Augustine are going to kick off our season here on the Pineywood side on Thursday night. And so we'll have that for you, and then we'll make our way over to Shelbyville on Friday. Troop Shelbyville. Everybody be ready. It looks like it might be some rain on Friday night. It'll be a rainy slobber knocker Friday night is what it's looking like right now. But that's kind of where we are with the Piney Woods. We're getting things going and looking forward to the coaches shows every week. We got a lot of Thursday games, Friday games, lots of things going on. So looking forward to it, man. It's going to be a good season.
Very good. I look forward to it. I know you go out and have a lot of fun. You travel throughout East Texas and catch a lot of these folks. I'd like to thank Sandy Creek Land Enhancement, along with Kay's Hardware in Joaquin, and the First National Bank of Tenaha, which are all sponsors of yours, Larry, when you go to those respective locations. So
Right. Yeah.
Thanks. Appreciate all of those folks. We're going to hear from a couple sponsors. We come back, we'll get to the most important part of the evening when we talk about what's coming up. That's the Jacksonville Indians right after this.
You. So is that what coming up in there?
Did you know that Joe's Car Spa was voted best car wash again in Shelby County? And it's not even a car wash, it's a car spa. And then Reed will give you a personalized code, and that way you can get 5 or more $12 car washes for just $8. I'm gonna tell you, that makes a lot of sense, don't it?
Sure does.
NETSN and Pinewood Sports Network say thank you to the sponsors who back the Riders all year long. Ace Hardware is the place. Center Tire, always tops in tires, now expanding their service.
And Covington Lumber, your third generation supply store and lumber yard.
So what do you get with Sabine State Bank? Well, Steve Waters and his staff, they know you. They know you by name. And they celebrate the successes when they finance your dreams. But Sabine State Bank is also a fully modern bank with 24-hour online access to your accounts and services ranging from teller services to some of banking's more complicated things. Looking for a place to grow? It's Sabine State Bank.
Welcome back, everybody. It is the Nick Brown Show, and this Coach Nick Brown, but right behind you, all over the restaurant are members of the Rough Rider team. They came to heckle Coach.
Yeah, they've been doing it right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty good at it.
They got some still eating in the corner, but the ones that finished got up close.
Yeah.
Right there at that table so they could do an exceptional job of heckling. And
oh, now they shut up because you put the camera in their face.
Yeah, got all shy all of a sudden.
Keep that over there.
So that's pretty good. They came to see it.
Yeah, must be doing something right.
Must be.
Yep. Or they're going to throw food at me later. I don't know. We'll see.
I know this is probably an unfair question. If it is, just say pass.
You're going to ask it anyways?
Yeah, I
am. All right.
Is the team, first of all, did you have any expectations in your head of what you would kind of look like going into first week?
Mm-hmm.
And if you did, is the team a little further than that or not? Or how does it match up with what your hopes and expectations were?
Well, so we had, when we sat down at the beginning of the season, I got to spend all spring with these guys, getting to know them, and we got to go through a lot of the stuff this spring, and we spent all summer, going over stuff and doing kind of our way of doing things. And so when we sat down, that last week of July when coaches got back and started working, and we finally got all of our coaches hired and started going through everything, and we basically sat down and said, okay, by the time we get to week one, these are the things we want to have in offensively. These are the things we want to have in defensively. This is kind of where we want to be. And we actually, today we had a chance to work on some extra stuff because we did have everything in. And the kids are picking up stuff. They're watching a ton of film. They're bringing their notebooks to meetings. They're taking good notes. They're doing all those little things that lead up to us being able to do big things on Friday nights. And so we're actually right where I wanted us to be, where we have the offense installed. We have the majority of the defense installed. And now it's just about them being more comfortable with everything, playing fast and playing confident, so that we can put our best product on the field Friday nights. Yeah.
Well, Counselor, it's time to go to the Tomato Bowl, which is one of my favorite places to visit. Even before the remodel several years ago, it was historic, so it was fun. Now it's historic and comfortable and modern. But I want you to ask the questions that we need to know, and I'm going to take notes about what.
Right. Well, you know, around 9:30, 10 o'clock, a train is going to pass through there.
That's true.
You can just almost guarantee it. Right. You know, I mean, I think every year I played there, that happened. I think every year that we've been there for a game, that has happened.
The 10 o'clock train.
Yeah. So you're going to be ready for that. Maybe that's some kind of a train trick play. But well, let's talk about this. So Jacksonville, they're still kind of retooling, right?
So they have a new head coach as well, and and Coach Stevenson, Monte Stevenson over there. He and I got to talk a little bit last week, and we've been kind of texting back and forth this week. We have a very similar story. He's coming from Alvarado in the Metroplex, and he's an Alvarado guy. Played there and got a chance to go back with the head coach who's there, and Coach Walraven, and they got a chance to rebuild his hometown. I got to do a very similar thing at Aubrey, and it's kind of a small world because Coach Stevenson played at North Texas, and so I got to see him play college football, and but he and I talked, and it's kind of we comparing stories. Like, we're both first-time head coaches. We're both first-time ADs. It's the first time we're both leading our own program after coming from successful programs that have gone deep in the playoffs year in and year out. And so we're kind of comparing war stories, and hey, what are you doing here? What are you doing there? But they knowing his, I guess you call it, pedigree, or where he comes from and what he's done in the past. Jacksonville is going to be ready to play, and I think it's. it's one of those things where it's you see it all over the place where towns they grow and then they shrink and then they grow and then they shrink, and a lot of times the biggest place you feel that is in your high school.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the biggest impact you have in that is in your athletics, because you're going up from 5A to 4A,
Right.
and it's always that constant shuffle, and so you may be really good at one level and you bump up to the next one. Well, now you're the smallest school in 5A, and there's struggles with that. And so, but I think he's going to do a great job there. I'm excited to see what Jacksonville does after Friday night.
Right. It's going to be interesting.
Right. You'll be a big fan.
A big fan.
I think he's a
In
great
September.
guy. Hope the Indians do
Right.
a really good job after Friday.
So, from the defensive perspective, our offense, what do we expect their defense to do? What have we seen on tape?
So they're going to run what's called a 3-3 stack, right? So you got 3 defensive linemen, 3 linebackers stacked right behind them. It's a very gap-sound defense, and it's a lot of what Iowa State, TCU run. And so the idea behind that is, bring a lot of pressure, make sure every gap is filled. You're bringing pressure from different places. And so, that's something that we've worked a lot this week, is making sure that we're gap sound on offense. And so making sure I know, I'm not blocking a guy, I'm blocking a gap. So when we run our zone scheme, like, hey, when you step to the running zone right, you've got that gap to your right. That guy may be lined up there, and he may try and cross face. Well, that's your buddy's job to pick that up. So we worked a lot of that this week during our inside pod run period. And then in the secondary, they're athletic. Their inside linebackers get to the ball very well, and then they do. And again, you're trying to gauge all this off of 2 scrimmages.
Yeah, sure.
And they look completely different in both scrimmages, because one team they played was spread them out, doubles and trips, kind of like we are, and then the other team ran with a tight end and a wing. And so you're going to align differently to that. You're going to do different things to that. And so, that kind of helped us out, kind of get to work multiple fronts and work multiple schemes. But they're very fast on the field. Secondary is very athletic, and so we're definitely going to have to come out and play well and do what we do.
Okay. And then from their offense, what are they going to do? It's the new program, new scheme.
Right. And so, it's very similar to what Coach Stevenson did at Alvarado. Now, thank God he doesn't have the quarterback he had at Alvarado. Carded Collier was a 4A player. Thank God he didn't move with him. But he, they're doing very similar things, a lot of quarterback read stuff, a lot of RPOs, trying to take advantage of you false keying you, giving you false reads. And they do actually do a really good job with their run fakes. And they're going to put some pressure on us defensively to make sure that we're have good eye discipline, and that we're using our technique correctly, and that we're a high pressure defense. And so if we don't get to the quarterback, it's going to create some issues.
Right. Opportunities for them, I guess. But again, I mean, I just from what I've seen, I don't know that I've ever seen any. I've never seen a defense like what we do. I've never seen anybody do that. So I mean, I think it's got to be.
Almost like watching an offense. It's like when we're on defense during the scrimmage, I was watching the defense. Now, don't you always? Because you're a rough. No.
Yeah.
I call the game. I'm watching the offense, but yet at the scrimmage, I was watching. What are we doing?
Yeah.
It was fun.
So that's kind of our motto on defense. It's kind of the motto of that scheme is it's offense on defense.
Yeah.
Like, we're not going to let the offense dictate what we do defensively. We're going to make them have to adjust to us.
Now, so going back to kind of like what Wallington asked. I mean, we obviously goal number one is to win the football game.
Absolutely.
But then after that, what are we wanting to see improvement in?
Well, I'd like us to be more consistent.
Yep.
We've been very inconsistent in our 2 scrimmages. We've, have 3 really good plays, and then we'll come out and we'll, crap the bed, so to speak.
Right.
And or we'll, have one good drive and move the ball really well, and then we'll come out and go 3 and out. And so I think that just comes with reps and with time. And I think, this will be the first time where, our guys that are our ones are going to be in there the majority of the time, and we're going to really rely on them. And scrimmages are all about getting everyone reps and getting everybody film and trying to make sure we've assessed, each position very carefully. But at this point now we know who those guys are. Now there may be still some shuffle going on, and we'll give some guys some opportunities to do some things in a game situation. But really I think, consistency always going into week 1 is let's make sure we've gotten better each week. And so we did some things better, scrimmage 2 versus scrimmage 1, and now let's take those 2 weeks of scrimmages and those 4 weeks of practice, and now we're going into week 1. So let's make sure that all those things that we've kind of tallied, like, hey, got to get better at this, got to get better at this. Being more consistent is probably top of the list.
Very good.
I think that covers everything on my note list. That's everything I wanted to know.
Well, I got your notes from the scrimmage, and so I made sure that we addressed those in practice.
Yeah,
yes,
and working in the scout team, I'm seeing a lot of things on the other side of the ball that I want to share with you. Okay, so that does it for our coach. We'll be right back to wrap up the show. Before we go to break, tonight's our sponsor of the night, Chris Mayfield State Farm, who brings us for Rough Rider games.
It's going to be the Chris Mayfield State Farm Red Zone.
So when we don't really talk about that much when they get in it, when the other team, but when we get inside the 20, it's the Chris Mayfield State Farm Red Zone. And Larry's made cool graphics. So,
No, Larry didn't make that. I made that.
Larry made those graphics. Yeah, it's going to be. We're getting up there into high tech country.
Yeah, telling you. Look, for your insurance, you go to chrismayfield.com and you can find some good rates. And because like I said, Chris Mayfield is the good neighbor. I mean, he personifies State Farm's. He is my insurance man. Matter of fact, just had a situation. Laura was driving down the road out there at Bowles Field, and a big old evil oil company truck spit out this huge rock that hit Laura's windshield, and it just devastated it. So, no big deal. I just called up Mayfield and said, "Hey, Mayfield, dang oil company ruined my wife's window." He goes, "No problem. Send it down to Center Glass. I'll send a purchase order. I'll send the paperwork over, and boom, it's done. Done. You don't have to worry about it. It's just done. You don't have to worry about fighting with the insurance company claim adjusters. You just call up Mayfield, and he handles it."
That is one of the 5 best advertisements of 2025 so far. You watch good stuff right there.
It's only August. Yeah.
That's right.
There's
All right,
much
folks.
good to come.
We'll be right back.
What's that old State Farm slogan, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there? Well, that could not be a better description than Chris Mayfield of Mayfield State Farm. Since he came to town close to 20 years ago now, he has been the quintessential good neighbor. It's the same thing true of his insurance agency, Chris Mayfield State Farm. So many things get started at Pizzeria. You start your party off with a pizza from the pizzeria. You get your celebration started. You get your season started. For a lot of us, our passion with pizza started at the pizzeria, a tradition since 1960s. It's the Pizzeria just off the square in Center.
Hey, if you're like me, lots of stuff is collected off up at your homestead. Call it down-home clutter. Well, the good news is there's a place for it. You ain't got to have a garage sale or a bonfire. You can take your down-home stuff to down-home storage. That's what I did.
Have you sustained a bone, joint, work, or sports injury? Problems with mobility or movement? Suffer with pain? Contact Azalea Orthopedics. Our specialists serve patients across East Texas. For proven, trusted medical care, you have a choice. Demand Azalea.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the show. It's Larry, your schedule this week. I think we're back on the paper.
Okay, well, my schedule this week. Well, let's see. I'm going to start off on Thursday. I'm going to be at Beckville for St. Augustine at Beckville. And then Friday I'll be at Shelbyville for Troop at Shelbyville. And then Saturday morning we'll be at breakfast with the linemen at Diamond B Cafe at about 8:30. Now, if real quickly I could go through the Pineywood schedule here. Here's the games that are going on. Elysian Fields will play at Tenaha. Another big barn burner game going on at Garrison. Wascom at Garrison. Timpson at West Sabine. Joaquin at Frankston. Kuntz at Hemp Hill. Center at Jacksonville. Of course, that's the lineup for the Pineywood teams around here.
It's a good lineup.
All right, well, very good
to start off.
Again, thank you to Pizzeria who hosts us. We have decimated the pizza of the night, which is not really pizza, the work sticks.
It's really good.
Call up and get the work stick. It's good because it's thicker. The crust is thicker. It's just really good.
And
it's
for
like
all my Pineywood
pizza.
fans out there, Coach hooked me up with a center hat, and I'm very proud of it, and I will wear it. You know,
hey,
don't get. I live in Center. I can root for the Rough Riders. Okay,
that's right.
That's a nice enough hat. You can wear that to church.
I probably will. Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in to the Coach Nick Brown Show. It's NETSN. Remember, Larry and Joe, Beckville Thursday, and Shelbyville Friday. The counselor and I will be joined in
ready for some
Jacksonville,
rain.
we think, by Chase Mayfield for the Riders and Indians at the Tomato Bowl. The Wright Chrysler Dodge Jeep pregame begins at 7 o'clock when the rain's coming down hard. We'll have an extended Friday conversation with Nick Brown. Kickoff 7:30. Then at halftime, in the Farmers State Bank halftime show, we get our first glimpse at the 2025 Pride of Shelby County Center High School Band. And at Shelby County Sweethearts, the Chaparrals. Stay with us for the Aurora Concepts postgame, where we'll talk to the Center Motor Company player of the game live from the field. Until then, have a great week. Keep it between the sidelines and the goalposts, everybody.
So what do you get with Sabine State Bank? Well, Steve Waters and his staff, they know you. They know you by name. And they celebrate the successes when they finance your dreams. But Sabine State Bank is also a fully modern bank with 24-hour online access to your accounts and services ranging from teller services to some of banking's more complicated things. Looking for a place to grow? It's Sabine State Bank.
The proceeding has been a presentation of the Pineywood Sports Network, an affiliate of NETSN. God bless America, God bless our troops, and God bless each and every one of you.